What's up, fellow Saiyans? Welcome to episode 36 of our mini paint series. Today we're doing Polaris. She is a hero. She is also the daughter of Magneto. She's a member of X-Force and actually was one of the first X-Men to join the team after the original 5. She's primed in uniform gray, just like all my other minis are. She works a lot with X Factor, a little bit of this with the Star Jammers. Very underutilized character. To start her off, we're gonna go with her face. We're gonna use Barbarian Flesh for that. And like I was saying, she's a very underutilized character. Like, she's Magneto's daughter, and I feel like early on in the comics, they kind of hyped it up like she was gonna be like the next big thing, and then they turned her in like a hero, and then I don't know. It was almost like they depowered her at that point because she never. Next, for her costume, we're gonna use deep blue, and that's gonna be for like her pants and the outer sleeves, or sorry, the inner sleeves. But yeah, she didn't get depowered. It's just with the way that they hyped her up, it was like she was gonna be like this awesome. Like she ended up just being like a side character half the time. You see, we're going to take the deep blue here. And two coats of this deep blue should be pretty thick. I'm going to go back and add a quick touch up to the face, as well as the blue. Now, for her hair, I'm going to take a mixture of moon dust and goblin green. I'm going to make a yellowish green color for her hair, and I'm also going to use this same color for her lipstick. You want to make sure you get that paint everywhere in the hair. And this will take probably two to three coats before it stays consistent. And this video is being sped up about 8 times its normal speed. For her eyes, we're going to use matte white like we do for all the figures. just to give it the eyes color, a base color on it. Start with matte white. She is primed up in uniform gray. That is the color I chose. Now, for the yellow parts of her costume, we're going to use demonic yellow. And that's mainly going to be like for the chest area, her gloves, and her boots. And this is yellow, so expect to have at least 2 to 3 coats of this on here. So got a good bit of time spent applying yellow. Especially if you don't want to mess up the other colors. You just want to be careful. And I am in no way, shape, or form a professional miniature painter or anything like that. I'm just doing this in my spare time because I'm painting these. They look cool, and I basically don't have anyone else to show them off to. So I just figured might as well put them up all online. As I was saying, the video is being sped up around 8 times its normal speed. It usually takes around 2 hours on average to do one of these miniatures. Between putting the paint on, letting it dry, adding a second coat, letting that dry, washing, highlighting. Like by the time all that's done, you're right around 2 hours, if not more. I'm on my second coat of yellow. Next, we're going to use oak brown, and we're just going to be using that for the ground underneath the metal plate she's standing on. Now, there's a little X on her costume. We're going to use pure red for this. I'm just going to fill in where the X was. Now, for her belt, we're going to use Grady Gold. And I think she has like a zipper thing up on by her collar that we're going to use the gold for as well. It's just a real small area. And now I'm just going to take the detail brush and just go over all the colors until everything is trimmed up, cleaned up, and it's ready to wash. So when we start washing, we're going to start off with flesh wash. And we're going to apply this to her skin. is Alright, for the blue parts of her costume, we're going to use strong tone. Like I was saying, no puddles, no bubbles. You don't want it all soaking up in one area unless it's supposed to. You just kind of want to use your brush and kind of just drag around the ink. And finally, for the base, we're going to use dark tone for the metal plate she's standing on. And after we're done with this, we're going to give it some time to dry, and then it'll be time to begin the highlights. So to start off our highlights, we're going to take our barbarian flesh we used earlier. We're going to add a little dab of mummy robes to it to lighten it up. We're going to kind of almost dry brush technique style this on her face, just in certain areas where the light would hit her. Now for the blue highlights, we're going to use ultramarine blue to go on top of our deep blue. And we're going to, same method, we're just going to apply this to all the blue areas where the light would hit it. Now, for the yellow areas, we're going to use moon dust, shade above the demonic yellow. And we're going to use this same way for the yellow parts. And like when I say it's not necessarily dry brushing, but it's almost like the same type of method, except for I'm not covering anywhere near as much ground. So for her eyes, we're going to color the irises green, and we're going to use green skin for that because I didn't want it to be the same exact as her hair and lipstick. So I wanted to change it up and make her her irises at least a different type of green. And now we're going to take leather brown, and we are going to dry brush this on the parts of the base where the brown is. Just on the edges. So not much of this at all. Now for the plate, the rest of the base for highlights, we're going to go with shining silver. And we're going to dry brush the base of the figure with this. Just on the raised areas. And for her hair, one of my most hated colors in this set is jungle green, just because every time I use this color, like the consistency is awful, but I am going to use it as a dry brush, an actual dry brush method. We're going to use this for her hair. It's just this color, this jungle green is always oily and never thick like with the paint or watery. But then last but not least, I'm going to use this lemon yellow glow paint from Five Below. And I'm going to basically just add a layer of this around where she's ripping up where she would be using her powers, basically. Just to add a little bit of a glow to the, I don't know, my own personal effect, if you will. And the final color, we're just going to dot her pupils with matte black. Real simple. Just be careful when you're doing this. Just 2 little dots. And this is going to be Polaris. I'll have a better view for you here in a second when we get up closer with a little bit different lighting. But I'm happy with how she turned out. If you like this, check out my Facebook or my Twitch page. Just look for Saiyan Elite. I do live paintings. I haven't done them as much, but I'd like to get back into them. Subscribe if you want to get notified of new episodes. It'll let you know when new ones come out. I'm trying to pump more of these out, but I mean, they take, like I said, they take about 2 hours to do each, and I got a lot to do. Plus I got a life. I'm trying to get this shit done and make videos, but I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and later, Saiyans.